everybody. I'm the host of WTF, and that is What the Fix Stops, all of you out there. And I'm joined today by...
I'm Charity, your co-host today, and we're really excited. We have Tony Thorstad, the automotive marketing specialist at Smart Motors Toyota. Tony, welcome.
Thank you, Charity. Hello, Russell.
Hello, Tony T. What it be?
Good to see you, sir.
Well, Tony, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Sure. So I've been at it a little while, 37 years this year since in July. And man, this automotive business is awesome. I've been largely in my career in the variable operations, done everything from sales to sales management to general sales to BDC manager, marketing director currently at Smart Motors Toyota here in Madison. Been here at this store for about coming up on 15 years. And so I handle everything when it comes to marketing, all the way from our website to handing out candy in parades and anywhere in between. So really enjoy what I do, love the company I work for. And of course, we've got a great brand behind us as well.
Yeah, you do. Listen. All of you out there, well, a lot of you know Tony, and it's like he is my brother from another mother. We probably spend a couple hours today, a day, in Zoom rooms, or other types of room, Clubhouse, etc. Yeah. And Tony's one of those guys in there, and we're talking about the top 5%ers in these types of rooms, sharing information and ideas and stuff like that, all regarding the automotive industry. And when Tony speaks, it's like, that commercial you used to see with E.F. Hutton, that everybody stops and listens. Well, that's Tony. So I'm telling all of you to listen to the whole thing, listen to the shorts when they come out, etc. But Tony, we're awful excited to have you on here. And we're rarely, in the overall scheme of things, do we even have clients on. Tony is a client of ours. Which we're humbled, honored, and grateful for, and have been for several years now. But, Charity, I'm going to let Charity ask a question.
Sure. Well, I'm curious, since you've worn so many hats in the dealership, what areas are sort of your favorite places to...
Yeah, good question.
Well, great. Yeah, that is a great question. So I'm responsible for everything marketing, as I mentioned, but, one of my biggest passions really is helping people grow their business. And that's, that could be a salesperson, or it could be the dealership, or it could be folks who are trying to figure out how to get into business and grow their business. So my passion is helping people get better at what they do, grow their business so they can serve more customers, so they can serve their coworkers, so they can serve their community. And super passionate about training, particularly on the sales side of it.
Nice. Well, tell us a little bit about marketing. What are some of the complexities that you face doing marketing in the dealership?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a really good question. Being a Toyota dealer, it's certainly, and don't tell anybody, but it's not as hard to market Toyotas as it was to market Cadillacs or Chevys and such. We've got such a great brand. The dealership that I work for, been in business for nearly 120 years here in Wisconsin and in the Madison marketplace. So from that perspective, it's a lot easier than it used to be when I worked with other brands. But we still have our challenges. And with our brand, the challenge, of course, is inventory. What vehicles to market, when to market them, and what's actually going to make it to the lot. When we get our allocation, we know what's coming, but how do I market those vehicles when they're not physically here, and some of the incentives and the pricings may change by the time they get here? And so it's a little bit of marketing onesie twosies, if you will, versus, we don't have 50 Tundras sitting on the lot. Today we have 2 Tundras sitting on the lot. We've got 5 Camrys, a couple RAV4s, and to be fair, we like it. We like it that way. They come and go pretty quickly, and it doesn't make my job easy, but it does make it challenging, probably in different ways than it does for other dealerships.
But you don't sell 5 or 6 vehicles with the ones you just mentioned. You sell considerably more than that, even on the pre-owned side too. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah. No, we sell hundreds of vehicles a month, and at any given time, like for example, today we have 139 new and used cars on the lot, and it's quite likely we'll deliver well over 400 this month. So.
Wow.
Again, that creates a whole different challenge because you got to move the cars through, get them through the setup process, whether it's new or used, get them on the lot, get them merchandised, and then before you know it, they're out the door. So we could potentially, and we have, go into a Friday, and by the end of Saturday, we're almost completely out of new cars, and our used car inventory sometimes gets cut in half in just 2 days.
Well, apparently that doesn't frustrate customers, does it? Go ahead, Charity.
It sounds like a good problem.
Yeah.
We like it. We like these problems, and they're not problems. They're just different challenges than most dealers have, right? The ability to get cars on the lot. Everybody's trying to do it quickly. Everybody's trying to acquire them, but we move them in and out pretty darn quick.
So are there like certain websites or tools online that help you move cars more than others?
Yeah, from the used car perspective and new car, classified partnerships are a big part of our role, big part of our strategy and our tactics. So we're on the big players, and we make sure that, number one, before we're anywhere online, our vehicles are fully merchandised, which is somewhat controversial for some dealers. We just have built processes in place whereby 90+% of the cars that are on our website are going to be fully merchandised before they get to the website. Now, our state laws kind of mandate that a little bit here in Wisconsin. We're not allowed to even talk about the vehicle being on the lot until it's been fully inspected according to state requirements. And so as part of that, we also know that we can get everything else done on or about the same day that inspection happens. And so until those things are done, they just flat out don't go on our website. And so the day that they hit the website or autotradercars.com and the like, those vehicles are fully merchandised, both new and used. And we do a full photo set on every new and used vehicle before it actually ends up on our website. So that's a little bit different. And I know there's a lot of dealers that say you're out of your mind, get them on your website as fast as you can. But I would say, my conviction is you can only sell a car once. Why would you present it to the customer when it's not standing tall, ready for them to take it home with all of the stuff that's wrong with it taken care of it, and they can come sign up and we can spot deliver it today?
There's so many of them that are not frontline ready that they put out there and advertise. So talk a little bit more about merchandising for new and pre-owned. Tell us what does that involve? When it's ready, tell us what makes it ready in your words.
Yeah, so they go through the inspection process. Of course, they get mechanically repaired, and we do a lot of maintenance items that I don't believe most dealers will do. One example is every single used car that goes on the lot is going to get a complete set of filters, not just an oil filter, but a cabin air filter, an engine filter.
Wow.
We're going to put brand new wiper blades on every new and used car. And these are things that I know a lot of dealers do a low for a lube oil filter, and they'll put on an oil filter, but are they replacing that cabin air filter? Are they replacing the engine air filter? Are they putting new wiper blades on it? That's just one example. We actually have 6 different packages of things that we do for our used cars. For example, every used car gets 2 years of maintenance included, oil changes, tire rotation, roadside assistance. These types of things help our customers have a much better experience, and they keep the customers coming back to our service department. So this isn't just, as a Toyota dealer, we have Toyota Care, which has been a big win for our dealership. So we kind of mirrored that and put it onto the used vehicle, including that 2 years of maintenance there as well. So all of those things need to be done to the vehicle before it goes into the studio and gets videos and photos. And we do all of that before they get stickers on the car. So we don't have a whole bunch of stickers covering up the windshield and price and all that. It's the car. The car really is the star. And then it goes into the studio, then it comes out, gets the stickers on, and goes right out on the lot. And until it's been merchandised and the stickers are on the car, it's not online.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about the pictures and the videos, and that's for every new and pre-owned. And how does that play into merchandising as far as salespeople and how they use that, and or service people, etc.?
Yeah, so we've been a partner of another using a software, Autos on Video, for more than a decade. And they provide us with an app that allows us not only to capture the photos, but capture a full motion segmented video. And then every vehicle also gets an AI voiceover. With the new cars, it tends to be more generic in nature, but on the used cars, the AI voiceover actually reads our custom comments. So if we put 4 tires on it, or we put 4 brakes on it, or both, the AI voiceover is going to talk about that in the real video. This is not a stitch slideshow video. This is an actual segmented video with an AI voiceover, and the voiceover is pretty darn good, Russell. I know that you've seen them. Now, all of that gets done, and believe it or not, we're able to do that. It takes about 7 to 10 minutes per car using the software. Now, think about this. 7 to 10 minutes per car, including staging of the car in the studio or on the lot. Our dealership's been able to do up to, with 3 people, shuffling really quick, we can do up to 60 cars a day using that software. And then it gets syndicated, so the videos on autotradercars.com and the like. But beyond that, once it's on the website, the salespeople can reuse those videos and photos to follow up with their customers on a custom landing page that is developed on the fly for individual customers. So it really has been a win for us. We've been with them for over a decade, and it's been a great partnership.
So every car has that, period, new and pre-owned.
If the vehicle's physically at the lot, it's going to have that done. Even if, let's say we had 3 Camrys, they're all white Camrys, they all have gray interior. Every one of them is going to get their own photos and videos. And the reason we do that is, number one, we're not trying to pull the wool over the customer's eyes. Customers know when you're reusing photos on the same. Yeah, they do. Right? They know it. And that's just a subtle hint of the way that you're kind of shortcutting the process to the customer. So we're going to do one on it. And it takes 7 to 10 minutes. I mean, for crying out loud, like, why not? Probably takes that long just to try to figure out which stock photos go with which cars. So you might as well just do them and get it done, right?
Yeah.
Well, what are some of the problems you find yourself always trying to solve? Not much changes throughout the years.
Always trying to solve. It really is making sure that we're following all of the steps in the process every single time. So I document everything. My goal of documenting,
yes, you do.
When it comes to, for example, merchandising, here's a solid documented process, in my opinion. One guy is down, he quits, he leaves, he gets promoted, and Charity, I hire you, and I say, Charity, here's your new job. I should be able to hand you that document, and you should be able to go follow that document. And all I have to do tomorrow is start inspecting what I expected. And if I've documented it properly, Charity should be able to make that happen, right? Now, Charity from time to time might decide, well, I'm going to do something a little different here. I'm feeling a little creative today. Okay. And this is where the inspect what you expect come in. So I'm on a daily basis from, I'm in the seat every morning at 5:45, right? And I'm inspecting what I expect when it comes to merchandising. I'm boots on the ground every morning. I'm walking the entire used car lot, new car lot, and making sure that the stickers are on in the place that they're supposed to be. So, that's my neurosis, I guess. But if you walk our lot, you're gonna see it. They're like little penguins, all lined up perfectly, and all the stickers are where you expect them to be.
Yeah, that just sounds like so nice to me, because I'm very similar in that sort of thinking. I just want everything. One of my first jobs was cleaning hotel rooms, and I just wanted them exactly the same as the next one. So I understand that OCD. But tell us a little bit about the fixed side. and marketing? How does that look different?
Yeah. So from the fixed operations side of marketing, for a long time, we really didn't have to do much of it. Toyota Care has been, like I said, a windfall for us for years. And we're in a market where there's really 2 dealerships and there's 500,000 people, right? Toyota dealerships. So we're thankful for that. And having been here over 100 years, of course, we have a reputation for taking care of our guests. So for a while, we didn't have to do a whole lot of service marketing until recently, when our service and our general manager said, how can we do more? So on a typical, if we go back a year ago, let's say, we were doing, say, 150 to 160 repairs a day through our express service department and through the main service center. And we thought that was it. That was all we could do. We were at capacity. We re-looked at that entire process, and now we're capable of doing 250 ROs a day.
Wow.
Right, 250. And then it's, okay, we built it. Now, Tony, make them come.
Yeah.
And that's where the marketing comes in. And that's where fixed ops has come in with your systems that we have in place, and some of the marketing that we've got going on there, the Dare to Compare product. So instead of going out and just spending a bunch of money on radio, TV, newspaper, which we do none of that. Like
none at all?
We do a little bit of radio.
Well, hell, everybody knows who you are. Yeah.
Well, I mean, yes, that's for sure. But, the word of mouth piece is probably the best piece we have in our marketplace. People know we take care of our customers here. So, your question about marketing, Charity, in the last year, the only thing that I've done additional is bring on Dare to Compare. And we've been on the other product now for about 2 years, Russell, something, yep. almost 3, yep. Something like that. Mm-hmm. And so that in and of itself, guess what? I think this last month we averaged 240 ROs a day.
Dang.
So we've got capacity for 250, and I think we'll get there very quickly.
So merchandising, marketing, with the making stuff frontline ready, and your process for that. How important is your digital showroom, right? Your new and used and parts and service, and how important is it for people when they're clicking to find what they're looking for? Because I know you have a lot to do with that, and I've seen the work you do, the pages you create and stuff like that. Does that take an exorbitant amount of time? I mean, unlike other sites where there's 404 not found. I mean, there's all kinds. They don't know how often. And is it just your website, or do you look at how it displays on mobile? Do you look at iPads and laptops and stuff like that? How important is that for you? And are you intimately involved in that?
Absolutely. The answer is yes to all your questions in terms of how is it displayed across all the devices. In fact, this morning I'm working on some pages as well. So there's a lot of moving parts there, but your website, my website, is not a set it and forget it. You need to have hands on it every day. So our focus for the last, probably 7 or 8 years has been SEO on our site. And we, largely I've been doing it. Recently, my workload's gotten a little heavier, so I brought on a partner to help me with that. I was blessed with an intern this summer who helped me create my model landing pages with all unique content. So from an SEO perspective, I believe we're standing pretty darn tall. We spend no money on Google at the dealer level. It's done at the TDA level. I haven't spent money on Google in probably 8 years. There was a point where we were spending up to $20,000 a month on Google Ads.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And then one day we said, well, let's shut it off and see what happens. And guess what? We didn't go back. We never went back, right? We never went back to it. And so that's not there. We do a little bit of Facebook from a remarketing for our inventory. Sure. I know that you and I have talked about using maybe some of your products for social. It's just a question of, for me, it's always a question of, can we handle the more business? It's not about do I need more business? It's about, can we handle and serve our customers? Can we, do we have the staffing in place so that our employees aren't, burnt out, overworked, frustrated? Because when that happens, when they get buried, guess what? Who do they take it out on?
Yep.
Take it out on the client. So it's important to me not to overwhelm them. I try to keep my finger on the pulse of what's going there. And if they need more tire sales, guess what? I'm Johnny on the spot to help out in that area.
Let me tell you about a partner that's actually helping dealers get ahead, Global Dealer Solutions. If you've been wondering how to use AI the right way in your dealership, especially on the fixed side, these are the people to call. Their team gets it, not just the tech, but the real challenges that dealerships face every day. We're talking about conversational AI that doesn't just respond, it converts. It books appointments, follows up with service leads, even answers customer questions with actual relevance. It's not replacing your team, it's making sure your team can focus on what matters most, closing ROs and building relationships. But GDS isn't just about AI. They train your staff, drive traffic, and tighten up processes so your results stick long after the tool is turned on. And everything they do is built around one goal: growth that is real. If you want more service traffic, better follow-up, and a partner that's always a step ahead, check them out. Visit gdsdealers.com, follow them on LinkedIn at gdsdealers, or just shoot them a message and ask, what would you do with my store? And see what they come back with. Global Dealer Solutions, process-driven, people first, always on it. Yeah, that was going to be my next question. So clearly you're not looking for more business, but what are some of the problems you are trying to use marketing to solve in the shop, in the specifically service?
Yeah. I don't know that we have, the biggest challenge we have in service is capacity by far for us. We've got, if I think about all the lifts that we have available, we're probably upwards to 60 lifts between multiple buildings, and most of our techs have 2 lifts. So the question is, where do we get more lifts and where do we get more techs? That's our biggest challenge. So from that perspective, I think that's really it. And then the other part where we use marketing is to try to generate business in areas maybe where we have an abundance of parts, let's say, or I would say that. And then, it's just not, they've got work to do, right? But I don't think they have a lot of big challenges.
That's good to know. So are there any tricks or tools that have made your life easier, your work life easier?
Tricks or tools? Well, AI for sure. Has helped me a tremendous amount, especially with my SEO work. My graphic design tools have helped out a ton when it comes to my marketing. I used to use Adobe a lot, and it was very time intensive. Now we've all moved over to Canva or similar products. So it's just recently we added some overhead marketing in our PA system. My intern came up with that idea and some great stuff there. So I've had to bring on some voice talent to do some commercials, that type of thing. But all fun stuff, it's just fun stuff.
Yeah. Marketing can be a lot of fun.
You sure can. Yeah.
Do you have a question, Russell?
Yeah, I got a lot of them, but I don't want to get too far off track. So here's one. Okay. This is a great question Charity has. Has your role changed, or does it or look different in the past 5 years due to technology or something else? How have things changed? How has your role changed in the last 5 years because of technology?
I don't know that my role has changed due to technology. So up until about a year and a half ago, there were 2 of us on the marketing team here, and it was kind of, we had separate
I remember
responsibilities, right? My cohort's responsibility was community work. A lot of that he did, also did the service marketing. And then I pretty much did everything on the variable side of it from a marketing perspective. We were at, I want to say 27% of our marketing budget was community focused. At one point, we had over 60 charities and nonprofits, not your charity, but nonprofits that we were giving money to and supporting. And when my cohort decided to leave the dealership, our company decided not to bring on a second person. And basically, I went from one full-time job to two full-time jobs. But what was interesting, Russell, get in the weeds a little bit, I've said this to a number of people. We all of us, Charity, Patrick, Russell, we all have things that we do every day that we love doing. We can't wait to do it. We think it's amazing and it moves the needle for our company. Yeah. And then we all have things every day that we actually don't like doing, that we avoid like the plague, right? That we believe does not move the needle. And so what I had to do is I had to look at what my cohort was doing and what I'm doing and say, to be honest with myself, I love doing this thing, like going to 3-hour lunches. This is a great thing. And it's a great thing. Are you serious? No. But you know, those things that we swear that if we stop doing, we're going to go out of business.
Yep.
Right. We're not being honest with ourselves. And so that's what I did. I looked at what I did. I looked at what he did. And I said, okay, this can go. This can go. I don't like doing this, but it really is important that I do it. And I learned to like it. When you don't like doing, when you hate something, it's not likely you're going to love it at any point, but you can learn to like it. And so that's really, to answer your question, that's what I had to do. I had to decide what I should do and what I shouldn't do and bring the most value to my company by making the better choices.
You mentioned that you were 100, 120 years old, etc. In the last 2 to 3 years, things have changed as far as it's not family owned anymore. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's true. In February or January of not this year, but the previous year, so a year and a half ago, we were acquired by the Baxter Auto Group. And J.R. Smart was the grandson of Odie Smart. Odie was the founder of the company. So 3 generations ran the dealership and became one of the oldest family-run dealers in the nation. I think at that time, the 3rd oldest. Furman Chevrolet in Tampa was the oldest at the time. And so JR decided that he was ready to move on and sought out a dealer group that was like-minded. And of course, I've been part of acquisitions in the past, and it makes everybody nervous, right?
Yeah.
The dealership.
Yeah, because hey, don't worry. Everybody's got a job. Everything's fine. Nobody has to worry about nothing's going to change. It's just going to get better.
Yeah. Well, they did acquire us, and Russell, I don't think JR could have picked a better group for us. I really don't.
You think that was strategic too, don't you?
Very much. Very, very, very much. Family-owned organization, the Baxter Group, little over 20 stores based out of Omaha. And I've had nothing but success, and it hasn't bothered me one bit, other than I'm still doing what I'm doing. They empower me to run my marketing the way I run my marketing. And so it's really been a great thing for us. And I've been part of the not so great things. So after having worked here for more than a dozen years and then being acquired by another group, status quo, baby, I like it.
Yeah. Well, you also help them as well by bringing your experience and expertise to some of the things that you've instituted over the years, right?
Yeah. There's always a product or service that maybe I'm thinking might be a good idea, that our marketing team in Omaha and Colorado and Illinois, we've got people all over the country. I'm very blessed and fortunate that I am the only marketing director for Baxter that is actually in a store running a store. And and the other folks are part of a larger marketing team. They handle the other stores, but I handle this store. And currently we're the, the 800-pound store in the middle. So my job is to keep us at the top of the heap.
And you've done that quite well.
Well, we're certainly trying and having a good time doing it.
Well, I wanted to ask you, how do you balance marketing between the service side and the sales side? And do you find that there exists friction there at times?
Great question.
Yeah, just like all dealerships, we have silos, right? And they're pulling in for their team, if you will. But again, from the service side, I don't have a significant amount of work to do there. There's work to be done, but it's not significant. And generally speaking, I'm working on that at the end of the month, and then working with your team to launch it out to the website. You guys have made it super easy, right? Delina and I, we work like this.
I'm sorry, who's that you just mentioned?
Delina.
Hey, Delina, that's for you. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, we work really well together. And so you've made it easy for me to get our website updated. Right. And now all I have to focus on is the sales side from a website perspective. So, also the good news is our service director used to be our HR manager. So he's pretty good with, shepherding teams together to make sure that we're, quote unquote, getting along. So there's not a lot of friction. The last 10 days of the month is where I'm putting together everything for next month, whether it's sales or service. Right. And then the first week of the month is where I'm launching all my campaigns. So no, it's really hasn't been that difficult. But I've been doing it for a long time. So maybe I've got a system down. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you kind of sort of answered this already, but I'll ask you directly. What channels do you think deliver the best ROI today? Social media, email marketing, radio?
So from a service side, actually email marketing and direct mail is still a thing, right? If I don't send out my direct mail piece every month, I'm going to hear it from our customers. We didn't get our coupons this month, right? So direct mail is still a strong part of our service department. Email campaigns on the service side of it. On the sales side, we don't do any direct mail for sales. We do a little bit of email marketing for sales, but most of our marketing on the sales side of it is going to be on digital platforms, on the third parties, on our own website. And again, for that, it all boils down to quality merchandising. If you can't get your cars merchandised well, don't even bother to sign up for Auto Trader. I mean, that's the blocking and tackling of it. So, yeah, hopefully I answered your question.
Yeah, you did for sure. I don't ask you another one. Can you share a campaign or event that you've done that performed way better than you expected?
I would say, and this is a service side event thing. So for years, we have 8 express lanes, lube lanes. And for years, it was first come, first serve. And it was so frustrating for our customers because at 30-minute, even though we had 8 of them, on every one of those stations, you've got 2 to 3 people that have to work there. So think about that, right? Yeah. If you've got 8 lanes, that's 24 people just to run those 8 lanes without people calling in sick and filling all the hours. I mean, I'll bet they had 40 people, full-time, part-time, trying to make that thing go back there. And it was so frustrating. And when I mentioned earlier, I get here at 4:45 in the morning, and I'd drive past the express on the way here, and there would be cars lined up in front of the doors, believe it or not, at 5:30 in the morning. Isn't that wild? We don't open until 7, and they would be lined up. Yeah, it just wasn't good. So we decided we're going to go by appointment only. And we figured that out, and then we started to market it. And holy cats, was that a win.
Really?
Our reviews have gotten better. Our customers love it. Our employees feel like they come to work and they're not being rushed through their day because they've got, it's all lined up for the day. So I would say that has been a big win. If you ask anybody in the service center, our BDC, service BDC folks, appointments for the Express Lube, absolute win for us.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Now,
Wouldn't have thought it.
the flip to that is, have you had a campaign that totally flopped? And what and why? What did you learn from that? And why did it flop? You think?
Russell, of course, everything I do is a huge success.
Of course, it is. Don't be ridiculous.
I was wondering.
Don't knock that off. Well, I will tell you this: when it comes to failures, I have a short memory. Right? I do remember what I did, and I remember I don't want to do it again. I would say, probably one of the big failures on our side as a dealer was because we were so focused on the community and all the things we were doing.
Yeah.
The challenge became all we were doing was writing checks every month. When you help over 60 nonprofits and charities, you can't get involved with them and help them and really leverage the relationship. And so when I took over the other position that was handling that, I took a serious look at all of those nonprofits. I had every one of them come in, sit down with me, tell them what they do, why they do it, and who they do it for, which sounds familiar, right, Russell?
Mm-hmm.
And after everything was said and done, we had to make some tough decisions, not because of budget. It wasn't a budgetary thing. It was more about, are we really serving them? Or are we just throwing out money, for everybody who wants it? And so that was an area where I think we were failing in because we just, we couldn't be there to really serve those folks. So starting to do that at a higher level now for sure.
Okay.
That's logical.
Yeah, it is. I got a really hot topic here. Okay. Now, you talked a little bit about this yesterday, and of course, it comes up often on Clubhouse. So you're 100 to 120 years old. That means back in the day, they still had horseless carriages, and then they had these gas-powered monstrosities. Well, now we have EV. And is there parallels between the two?
Well, I say this quite often. We as dealers, we're complaining about EVs like it's the end of our business or it's the worst thing that could happen. And when I can put the politics aside and just start to look at it, they're not for everybody, but they are for some. Not everybody wants to drive a conversion van, right? Not everybody wants to drive a sports car. And not everybody's going to want to drive an EV. But I can imagine back in the 1900s when OD Smart started his business, his original business was a livery stable, right? That's part of the 100+ year.
That is so fascinating, man. Go ahead.
Yeah. So he had a livery stable, and then he got into the car business, and he had over 60 brands in that time. But I can imagine back then, people that were, had their horse and buggy, they were laughing at the people stranded alongside the road in their cars. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you wouldn't bought that car, I can feed my horse alongside the road kind of thing. That's where I get my fuel from. He puts his head down and drinks out of a puddle. Right? Yeah. Those cars will never go. Well, just take it out another 20 years. And I think EVs are going to be a good percentage. Are they going to be all of it? I don't know, but they're not going away. I can tell you that.
No, they're not going away.
No matter how much we pull our hair out and stomp our feet. Do you think they're going away?
So I live in this place called Sherman in Denison, and I was visiting a museum, and that was it was what I forgot the time frame. It was back in the early 1900s, but it was about gas-powered vehicles versus the horseless carriage. And it was reminiscent of some of the same talking points today. And yeah, they're not going, it's just another alternative. But yeah, I just couldn't imagine what it would have been like back then as you get off the horse and you step in a pile of shit or something like that, or whatever. But no, I thought it was really a fascinating conversation because it comes up over and over and over again. Those government subsidies are fixing to go bye-bye. I don't know what that means, but I also know you drive an EV. And And I have changed, with more information because I'm all about, learning as much as I possibly can. When Sherry and I first started, we were talking about EV and fixed operations and what that looked like. I was pretty turned off at first because there's no infrastructure, or at least at the time, not near like it is now. And of course, it's just getting more and more and more. And of course, the technologies keep changing. Hybrids is a big one too. I know I probably got way off track there, but
well, when this conversation first started, we were putting on presentations about what to expect in fixed operations with EV, and the data now is so outdated and different, and it's just been a couple years,
Yeah.
So it's interesting how fast things move along.
Right.
And it kind of reminds me of the red flag rule. Do you guys know where that came from? I believe it was New York. So they required someone to walk, I think, in the front or behind the car with a red flag to let people know a car was coming for the horses and carriages. So quickly became outdated.
I was thinking red flag rule, not red flag like what you just said. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, well, that's where it originated from a long time ago. But so if you had an unlimited budget or a magic wand, what would you do at your dealership?
Wow, that's a good one.
What would I do? First thing I'd do is I'd build another service department with more lifts and more techs. Right?
Yeah.
Guys, I can get the customers. They're there. I just don't have the capacity. And when folks come in and they have this amazing new product, this AI, this marketing schema, that, I'm like, man, I wish I could buy it. I do, but I don't have the capacity.
Yeah.
Service drive acquisition. We all talk about acquisition. I've got the number one Toyota service auction lane in the state for sure. 250 people driving Toyotas every day go through a service department. I should be buying those cars. But if I go buy them, I can't get them on the lot fast enough. I've probably got 70 cars sitting out here that need to go through the shop. If I went and bought 40 out of the service drive in the next week, all I'm doing is parking them out on the lot. So my biggest challenge is throughput right now. It is. And I've looked at some really great acquisition products. I just can't get them through the shop.
Yeah, you really do need a magic wand.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I know that at a SodaCon, I was listening to Steve Greenfield, I think. Yeah, right? That guy. You know who I'm talking about? Right. The future of automotive. And he was talking about what's going on and why insurance costs and how that equates to the vehicle. And he was talking about the independence. And he was talking about where things are going in the near future and with fixed operations and connected services and the things and EV and the equipment to handle them, stuff like that. The independents are starting to race and jockey for that as well. And has that ever really been an issue for you guys, the independents? Obviously, if you're at capacity, I guess not. I mean, you have some that do, but do you service all makes and models?
We do service all makes and models except for Europeans and commercial vehicles. So we do service them on. In fact, I mentioned earlier, we give 2 years of maintenance on every used car except for Europeans and commercials. So you could buy a 2011 Chevy Silverado with 180,000 miles on it. We're gonna give you the 2 years of maintenance on that, old vehicle. So we're able to do that. Where we, because we're a Toyota dealer and the Prius has now been around for almost 25 years, if you can believe it.
Wow, no.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, almost 25 years for the Prius. We have a hybrid vehicle in Toyota in just about every vehicle in the lineup, with the exception just a few, like the GR86 and the Supra. Those aren't hybrids, but everything else, you can get a Tundra, a Tacoma, Camry, down the line, Corolla, you name it, are all available as hybrid. And locally, some of the mom and pop shops have been trying to get the equipment to be able to work on those, because at some point they're going to try to conquest our business in that area as well. There's a small mom and pop shop that is advertising, has been for probably the last couple of years, that they can service your Prius. And I imagine that equipment's not inexpensive, but there was a time years ago where we were the number one Prius dealer in the nation. So there's a lot of people who like hybrids in Madison. That's for sure.
Okay, this is really kind of stupid. And I'm much more open to an electric vehicle than ever because I'm not quite the road warrior that I used to be. But, you know, it's like you can't hear the damn things. And if there was a muscle car sound to it, you know, or something like that, I would be more open because I know they're like super fast, you know, and a lot of torque and all that. But it's like, man, they're just, I mean, there's no thrill. There's no guy thing or even a girl thing. But I mean, for me, it's like, you know, where is that rumble, you know?
You know where the thrill is? When you step on it and your head goes. That's the thrill.
But imagine that there was a sound associated with that feeling.
Yeah. And I know that Hyundai's put that into some of their cars, but Russell, I have a BZ4X, you know that.
Yes.
And, you know, if I had to pay what I got a crazy good deal on that car, right? A year and a half ago when they had the big rebates, crazy good deal to the point where I think that car cost me like $90 a month, right? It's crazy. But I'll tell you what, for my lifestyle, I've had that car for 16 months. I have 12,000 miles on it. I almost don't have to charge it once a week, right? Range anxiety for me is not a big deal. We also have a Camry in the family, so if I have to go somewhere and do something, I grab the Camry. But for me, and if you don't drive a lot, they're fun to drive. They're fast. I like it because it's quiet. I actually like the quiet. I grew up racing sport bikes with loud pipes. My current motorcycle, you know, loud pipes save lives. That's the whole reason you want a loud pipe on your bike, is so people can hear you. But when it comes to driving my car, I guess I'm an old man. I just like to get in it. And it feels like a supercharged golf cart.
You're not an old man. Now, this may, I'm just being stupid right now. This may be edited out. Okay. But you have, how has your life changed with with triplets who have now all turned 18? How's your life changed?
Well, it didn't until this week because now they're all off to college.
Oh, okay.
So
that sounds expensive.
Yeah.
Well, let's not talk about that.
Yeah.
Triplets are expensive anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you what, I used to change 6 diapers before I went to work in the morning.
I believe it.
Unbelievable. Yeah. So my life is changing because now they're all gone and I won't see them now until Thanksgiving. Maybe, depends on what they want to do for Christmas. But so I'm very sad. I'm very sad to see them go, and they're amazing kids, and they're going to do great things. And
yes, they are.
Yeah. Russell, I told you, I don't know if I told you this, but I was 40 when they were born, and now I'll be 60 here next spring. And, you know, I always told them, I said, the reason I waited till 40 is so by the time you graduate college, you guys can change my diapers.
It's amazing how that comes full circle, right? Well, listen, over the years, our relationship has evolved and developed. And yes, you are a client, but aside from that, you're a very dear, close friend as well. And we've been really transparent with each other in our conversations over the years. And of course, you know, we spend hours and hours and hours a week in other venues talking about this kind of stuff. You are certainly what I would refer to as not just a leader, but a servant leader. Okay. And you're not afraid to speak your mind and stand your ground and call bullshit when it comes up and stuff like that. And that's what really draws me to you. And so I'm really, really blessed to have a friend like you. And you're involved in so many things on the outside as well, inside and out. You are extremely busy and tapped out. And I know the direction you're going. Some of it we're not going to talk about.
Yeah.
But can we talk about APA for just a second? Something you're involved with that I'm also very passionate about, and what that means for all of you out there.
Yeah. Well, thanks for asking. So The APA is the Automotive Partners Association, and it is a loose band of Confederates. That's what Paul always calls them.
Yeah, yeah.
But what it is, in Clubhouse, for years, there's rooms for car dealers. And we as vendors, I wear two hats, right? But we as vendors, we were flies on the wall. And we weren't really involved in the conversation. And you just kind of wait until maybe the subject turned to your expertise and then kind of chime in. And I started to look around the room and say, hey, about half of this room are vendors. People who serve the automotive, right?
Indeed.
And so we got to talking about it and thought, okay, let's get together an opportunity where we as vendor partners can get together and commiserate with each other, but share best practices and get to know each other and be reliable referral folks. And so we started the APA. I think it's coming up on 3 years next month.
Yeah.
3 years, just like that. We meet once a week on Clubhouse for 45 minutes, and usually it ends up being an hour because we're in the car business, and that's what happens.
What time is that?
It is the best time zone on the planet.
Damn right, baby.
Central. Yep, right here. Yeah, it's the best. And so we meet for up to an hour, and we generally have a vendor or a partner, somebody who serves the automotive vertical, and they can come in and they have an opportunity to introduce themselves and to talk about what they do, who they do it for, and why they do it, their product and their service. And then they give us their little, what we call the good, the bad, and the ugly. What's going good for them? What are they struggling with? And maybe just an ugly something story or whatever. It doesn't have to be anything that ugly. But it really is just about building these relationships between vendor partners so that we can serve the automotive verticals. Now, I don't work with car dealers. I have a side business, and I work with tractor dealers and boat dealers and RV dealers, which is very similar, but I don't work with car dealers per se. Generally speaking, I'm happy to give them advice, but they're generally not my clients.
Sure.
And so we get together and do that. And we have a website, automotivepartnersassociation.com. And that allows vendor partners to go and set up on our directory, their listing. It's free, absolutely free of charge. You can set up your listing for yourself or for your company. And then I usually jump over and do some SEO work. I'll introduce myself. But the idea is we want to build relationships. And this is how it started for me was I wanted so that when I went to one of my dealers and they said, hey, do you know anybody who has coupons for service or can help us with our service marketing? I wanted to say, not only do I know a guy who has the best product, and I know a guy who has the biggest heart. His name's Russell Hill, and do that handoff, right? And so that's what the AP's been a part of. I've worked with many of them, including your team, on projects that really has not only helped my clients, but have served me, and I've been able to serve you guys as well, hopefully. So the Automotive Partners Association, absolutely free. It's not a formal association. We're not a nonprofit type of thing. We're just a bunch of folks who want to serve automotive dealers and want to help other vendor partners. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what really attracted me. And I think I was there from the very first one, just like the human side of AI and all things car biz and all things fixed ops and all things used cars, et cetera. Where I'm going with, if you're looking for networking and association, there's no better place to go than these types of rooms going, because these aren't the general population stuff that you experience out there, maybe in your own dealership. These are the top 5%ers in all these different areas. The feedback is invaluable, and it would cost you thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars but you get it all for no charge at all. You just pop in there and the stuff that you learn, et cetera, and the topics pivot and change. There's personal stuff involved and people referring here and referring there. So this is the kind of guy, Tony, that's on here today that exists in those rooms. So, get plugged in, get connected.
Yeah. You mentioned that you could go to 10 NADAs once a year and you'd be behind.
Yep.
Right. The clubhouse, the APA, these rooms that we're in, a lot of what we're talking about, all of a sudden you start hearing in the news, right?
Yeah.
Like the technology, right?
Yeah.
And for the vast majority of dealership employees, they never get to go to an NADA or a digital dealer. They never get to hear these conversations that are happening between some of the best dealers in the country. And so, I encourage everybody to get in there.
Yeah.
And it is somewhat addicting though, too, isn't it?
Yeah. And all those things he just mentioned cost you money. The stuff that we're talking about costs you nothing except your time. So if you want to invest your time in your future, and one of the questions Sherry had, do you have any advice for people in dealership or automotive marketing today? That was it right there. That was everything in a nutshell.
Yeah.
And then absolutely. And let's ask, this is the last question.
The last question. Is there anything that we didn't ask you today that you wish we had?
I'd like to ask you, Charity, specifically, because you're one bright bulb. Do you have the winning lottery ticket numbers?
I think so. I think it's on my fridge. I bought 2 yesterday.
You know what? It's okay to say that if she really gave you the numbers or whatever the case may be. By the time this airs, you would already quit your job and be doing something else.
No, you guys are great. You guys love what you're doing. I love being a part of it, and look forward to working together on more projects. That's for sure. One of these days, I'm going to be able to fly the coop. Russell knows, and I'll be able to go and do whatever I want.
Yes, you will, and I know about some of those things, and they're going to work out for you. I just know they will. So listen, Tony Thorstad, we've humbled, honored, and grateful to have you on today. We love you, and you're an amazing individual. And when this airs, a lot of you know him and a lot of you don't know him. So make sure you watch and like and share and involve and ask questions and share it with your people. That's what it's all about networking and sharing our experience, strength, and hope of what works for us and what works for other people. Maybe it works for you, maybe it doesn't, but at least you have an opportunity to get more information and see if it does or it doesn't, right? So this is another successful episode of WTF, and that is What the Fix Stops. To all of you out there, keep coming back. It works if you work it. That sounds like a AA phrase or something like that. Anyway, probably because it is.
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, Charity, thank you for all that you do, and Patrick, and we wouldn't even have this if it wasn't for her. I'm telling you, know that, don't you, Tony?
Yeah. No, I know.
Absolutely.
I know who runs the show, Russ.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. But thank you once again for coming on. And can we reserve the right to have you back on again?
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
All right. So I'll leave you guys with this.
Okay.
God loves you. I'm working on it.